后花园线上的朋友们，大家下午好！欢迎您在周四下午的3点半收看建筑会公开课直播，我是主持人 Lily。为住户带来安静的生活，已经成为了房产具有竞争力的一大要点。为帮助实现这一个降噪的举措，Marley 推出了适用卫生的排水系统 dBlue 隔音的管道系统。这种降噪系统已经在新西兰的各地的商业建筑像医院、公寓、住宅以及其他的项目中广泛的被应用。今天来到我们直播间的嘉宾是 Emma， 她也是 Marley National Commercial Plumbing Manager。在今天直播的开始呢，她会用一段视频跟大家分享一下这个 dBlue 的降噪系统是什么样子。屏幕前的您也可以直观的感受到从安装上它是如何帮您做到省时省力的。好，那么在我们直播的开始，我们也请 Emma 跟大家打个招呼。Hi
Emma。Hi guys, thank you all for joining us today for the dBlue seminar or webinar. Appreciate your time and interest in learning about the product. Thank you, Lily, as well for hosting. We'll just get straight into it.
G'day, I'm Hayden. When someone says I've got a fancy new product that's better, faster, easier than the system you've been using for years, you've got to be a bit sceptical, right? So when Marley said take a look at their new acoustic plumbing system called dBlue, I had my doubts too. So what is dBlue? It's this stuff here. It's Marley's acoustic plumbing system. It's made from state-of-the-art polypropylene and sound-absorbing mineral filler. It's designed specifically to minimise the transfer of sound, and it's ideal for hot waste removal as it can handle up to 90-degree temperatures. As you'd expect, it's certified to all the relevant standards, and they even say it's faster to install than traditional UPVC. Let's take a closer look. You can forget your traditional adhesives and sticky fingers. dBlue has a rubber ring system that's been trusted overseas for years, and it's simple to use. Let me show you a typical joining of two pipes. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Like any other plumbing system, you want to make sure the cut is straight, the chamfer is consistent, and there's no sharp swarf. Now, apply some dBlue lubrication on the O-ring and the spigot if necessary. You don't need much. Make sure the rubber ring in the socket is clean. Simply insert the spigot end into the socket until it stops. Mark the pipe at the socket edge like this. Now, pull it back 10 millimeters to allow for expansion and contraction. That's it, done. The system also has these acoustic brackets, which further reduce vibration with their dampening rubber lining. It's also got a strong metal bracket that can handle all the loads. See, this is a fixed bracket position behind the socket. To create a fixed bracket, you simply remove the spaces. Further along the pipe, you use these guide brackets, which means just leaving the spaces in. This setup allows for expansion and contraction in the plumbing system. So what does all this mean? Well, it means you don't have to install lagging, which means the whole system is faster, weighs less, and takes up less room. Don't believe me? Let's do a quick comparison. Since the dBlue system doesn't need lagging, it's now ready for inspection. So there you go, something new that's well worth a go. For me, it's all about saving time, which really means saving money. I reckon if you give it a go, you'll be sold just like I am. Marley dBlue Acoustic Plumbing System. Give your next project the silent treatment. To find out more, visit marley.co.nz.
Cool. I will start to share my screen for you to start the presentation as well, Emma.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Through my online store alone, we've sold over $500,000 worth of spices. That's so crazy.
Just whenever you're ready.
Cool. Awesome. We'll go on to the first page, which is got the 3 systems. Cool. All right. So before we start on talking only about the dBlue system, I just wanted to start with Marley offered. So you've got your conventional PVC, and to achieve an acoustic nature, you would lag that. You've got the dBlue system, which is a polypropylene option. It is an acoustic as it is. And then we've also the polyurethane. Cool. Thanks. Cool. So why dBlue? Popular now more than ever before, as land availability is drying up, going up, where retirement homes. We're also seeing high density living, such as townhouses, or towns above them. As time goes on and land becomes less available. dBlue is the perfect solution for any drain waste or vent solution where there is any or around. The dBlue system is not just great for acoustic measures, it's also perfect for chemical resistance, high and low temperatures as well. dBlue commonly hot water used in commercial, purely for acoustic application. It does have a range of other applications as well. It can also be used in some controlled school laboratories. So it's high chemical resistant. Also, so I can convert. Marley dBlue also has a 10-year warranty on the product itself, not for the installation. You code for the application, and it's also 100% recyclable. Thanks, Ollie. I've just saying as well, noise reduction, no required. As you do resistant, 100% recyclable, anti-well. So it can go up to 90 degrees continuous or up to 95 degrees intermittent. Go to the next one, Lily. Awesome. So dBlue is actually manufactured in Europe. Sister company that owns Marley, umbrella of Aliaxis, and that companies worldwide. Is made in Europe, shipped over to Australia standards as well, and as well. The system being made of European sizing, but we have PVC to cool. So this is the airborne norm. We would have it living or community room or waste. It flushing and through the pipe. Plastic we use like a propylene. The triple this had the mineral absorbing material. So the next go over that. Now for this to use the including the most important. So over to that in more detail. Fact system or all the end. Oh, let's go back up. Gray polypropylene primarily for the high temperature resistance, like we said, up to 90 degrees continuous or 95 degrees intermittent. It is also high chemical resistant and has a really smooth bore to it, so things don't get caught or latch onto that. Talked about it being high chemical resistant. It's perfect for using not only for the temperature but also the chemical resistant in commercial kitchen and controlled school laboratories and other applications where a lot of chemicals pass through. We use dBlue in hospitals, in retirement homes and retirement hospitals. Again, we're seeing a lot of chemicals coming through in high and low temperatures as well. And so this is why it's a perfect solution. Intermediate polypropylene today, those nozzles that we talked about. So the strength really comes from the inner layer. And this is where majority of that noise absorption comes from as well. The outer layer is a blue polypropylene. I know that we do get this product offshore. However, it still has the watermark and the approval to be used in New Zealand for drain, waste and vent. Now that external layer is perfect for resistance to external tensions. That way there, you know that when you're installing it, it can from the it is also low temperatures, so it can go down to minus 10 degrees. Now with the external layer being resistant to tensions and abrasion, and it can actually go. Thanks, Lily. Cool. So to make this system fully acoustic, we need not just the pipe and all of its layers and all of their contributing factors, but also this rubber ring. Now the bracket is not the rubber ring, but the rubber bracket. The rubber bracket is a system. Now the metal bracket part is strong. It's a strong metal bracket which can withhold as the this is imperative for the system to remain acoustic. Without using these brackets, should you use just a metal bracket or just a bracket, the vibrations from the pipe moving through it, the vibrations from that will then bounce off the bracket or whatever the bracket is actually screwed to, whether it's the wall, wherever it's fixed to. So if that the rubber ring, you only have one bracket for the system. So when you're buying a bracket, you're just buying this one. However, the bracket itself has multiple uses. So there's two brackets. I'll just touch on it now. The bracket can bracket or a spacer bracket. If you look at the smaller photo on the screen, those two little rubber has two little plastic bungs in between the clip. Yep, perfect. Those two little clips, they're called spacers. When those spacers are, that would be a guiding bracket that allows the pipe, when it's installed with those spacers on it, it allows the pipe to move it for thermal movement in the pipe. Now, a fixed bracket plays a very pivotal part in the system, mainly acoustic, also not as the supposed. Cool. All right, so for the testing for the dBlue and testing inside, the testing has been done. The great news is with the system is that we are results become sure that CMS have the results on to you. This stage, Australia a lot, and to in Australia. Thanks. Cool. This part of the presentation, kind of giving you a bit of an overview, go into a bit more detail. Like I said, in Europe and Australia, see it is all in. So we've got 15, 10, and 1. We have links right up to 3. Full range of components. The most important of the adapters from lane sizing, the dBlue adapt into a faucet. We've got a full range of them all available to you. They come in 2 different types. They either come in a rubber bung, which is usually for the adapter as well. One end will obviously go into the dBlue. The other end can be solvent the pipe. To remind, and PVC cannot be glued together. That is, polypropylene can't be glued. That is why it's a rubber ring system. It will not stick to PVC and feel as though it will come apart. Adapters, which will either be, again, the rubber bung, or to be a PVC adapter and into the fitting, fit. And then on the other side, you can then begin to glue into the PVC pipe. Thanks, Ollie. This information go into the folder. It's super. It basically just standing on anything in you. ASNZ. I mean, it's something that I'm very passionate about, no matter whether it's dBlue or PVC, as long as it's got those watermarks. The main thing, 100%, and the logo. If you have any questions, Lily, but it's pretty. Cool. So this is just doing all of our like a full fitting range. This isn't all of them. It just gives a full. It's all of the fittings that you're going to need. So what I haven't got on here, and I searched for some, is the most pivotal part in the system. So the fittings, it's all enfolded. So the is co-extruded and made. Those as a co-extrude through and extrude. The fittings themselves are molded polypropylene medium density, and it is made in one single layer. That blue layer is the whole way through. Only the part of those three layers earlier is made of the socket. It is made from so out or pipe, and it will get back into place. But in my experience, it's very, very rare that a rubber ring extruder that they're made is being a rubber ring system is made to withhold a bit of tension pushing action going into the socket. White, a hard, is not, it's not going. There's a reason for that. Is freely. We want there to be a little bit of resistance in there. So don't be afraid to pop those rubber brackets out. Very hard to do so. Thankfully, I think we could probably. Yeah. Cool, and just one more. Let's go to the next screen. Thank you. Perfect. Cool. All right. So we've got the types of any. Now the a little bit more in detail. And about their very pivotal system working. So the option for anchor points, you would have it onto and installing it. We talked about those space pop out of the all bracket out the retailers or with those two. They are already a guide. You will need to pop them out for them to become a fixed bracket. Based on it. The refresher for this and the reminder for this is available to you if you are going to start a dBlue job. We'll come out to site and because it's very important. So behind any socket, whether it is a pipe socket or a fitting socket, you need to get it. And it allows that the pipe or the fitting not to walk or come apart or come away from each other under any thermal. Okay. So every need that, and we will touch on it again later as well. We also want pipe to put smart, as we saw on that video, mill to move thermal combust the system. We'll just okay. This will allow the pipe a little bit more structural integrity, keep it in place, and it really just helps and guides and supports those fixed brackets that are there in behind the socket. Okay, so at the very end of this, over the top, to remember, the most important. Cool. So with the horizontal, there's not much of a change when it comes to the installation guidelines from fixed and horizontal and vertical. The only thing that there's the horizontal is at so that's where those two little spaces are kept in, and it just allows the pipe to again have a bit more structural integrity while it's being suspended or hung. So there is a calculation which is there. So for 40 between the diameters of 40 to 90 mil, we're going to go 15 times the outside diameter of the pipe. Okay, for 110 and 160 mil, it's 10 times the OD, or the outside diameter of the pipe. Super easy calculation. There's just the two range. 100 mil and above is 10, below is 15. In my experience, you don't often come across such a long run where this calculation would come into play. A lot of it is common sense. You can see where there potentially isn't a lot of support, and you would pop a supporting guiding bracket in on that place. Again, the support that Marley offers when you are using the system, especially for the first time, we've got a really hands-on approach, and we are more than happy to come out to site and in that first initial day or two of your first install, if you're not quite sure, over and have a look. That's our job. Have a look. Give you any advice on where we believe a guiding bracket could be useful, or remind you of where fixed brackets and the like need to be. Super important. Again, that this bracketing system is followed. Awesome. So we went over this a little bit earlier. This is another one of the most, another one of the top 5 tips to ensuring that the system doesn't fail. We saw it in the video. I've discussed it as well. What this is allowing the system to expand and contract, whether it's thermal or whether that's what's passing through the pipe. So what this is as the witness mark. The socket should always instances where that is not going to be always the case. You may have a coupler or a socket that you've had to pop in, and that's okay if it goes against the grain, so to speak, throughout the system. But I downstream from the pipe, it just we're always applying lubricant, as we saw in that video. We are applying lubricant to the rubber ring inside the socket, and we're also applying a little bit to that fitting or to the outside of the pipe. Okay, something that we don't have on here, which I'm going to add, is we need to ensure that the pipe or the pipe is chamfered on a 15, and it is clean of debris. Now the fittings do come pre-chamfered, which is great. So they are just and before popping them into the socket. Right, so back to this, we are fully inserting the pipe all the way to the end of the socket. We're going to draw a line on the pipe. A bit of advice, look when the council inspectors looking for this witness mark. They more often than not believe that this method wasn't followed. So my advice would to be use a black vivid or a black permanent marker, okay? Nothing blue, nothing white, nothing that can rub off easily. So we're going to witness mark, and then we're going to pull that pipe out, or that fitting out, 10 mil. And as I've mentioned, something thermal expansion. Movement, okay? Cool, thanks, Lily. Next screen. Cool. All right, so the system is a drainway sanitary system. There are other options can be used. So we've got industrial, commercial kitchen waste, laboratory. Like I said, it can go into laboratory controlled. Big laboratory, the hard want to consider using polyethylene as a solution for laboratory. Yes, can also be used other applications such as pipe, where they're here on the outside, it stabilized, but there are suitable for just the drain waste and vent. Next one. Cool. So the idea of this system is to avoid PVC. This table I will is a more effective, a time-saving and therefore cost-saving exercise to use it. As we, the two pipes, a couple of seconds to minutes. However, it's the time going back to using the lagging that it can be longer, shorter. It's better from a time point of view to use the dBlue with the PVC as well. Yeah, test it, have council sign off, and then go back to lag. And council want to come. System once it's installed, it's done. It's consistent on its results, and it obviously meets all of the standards for acoustic measures. Cool, thanks, Lily. Cool. So the next couple of slides, I'm just going to talk to a couple of projects. So the current projects that we've got going on, we've got the Huapai Country Club, retirement country club around the country at the moment. Probably one of the bigger ones we've got going on is Bupa, which is down in Wellington at the moment. We've got Kāinga Ora housing developments going on. Now, this consists of both townhouses and apartments. We've also got a lot of apartments at the moment, the spaces, and a demand for that acoustic application. Okay. A huge amount of dBlue has gone into multiple hospitals all over the country. We've got it going in, well, we've had it gone in the Christchurch Hospital, And we're also even up in Kawakawa, up in Northland as well. We've also got, we can go to the, we've got in high-spec homes. I've got about 4 jobs on at the moment. These are where there are a lot of living areas, a lot of bathrooms. We're talking multiple stacks throughout the builds. And in these homes, the client hear nothing. And so for dBlue to be used and then lagging as well, that is an option. It's not necessary. If you want extra protection though, that's okay to do. We've got it going into laboratories, school laboratories using dBlue, or develop questions. Most of the documentation that needs to be sent off to any design engineer. It's aware dBlue can be used not to for because it does meet up to the high temperature range. It also is suitable for commercial kitchens. This is current. dBlue is installed in the commercial kitchens in Auckland, and it pipe between Sky City kitchens, commercial kitchens, and their grease traps as well. Cool. All right, Lily, next screen, please. Now, this next screen, recap the important key, longest steps the system. It's okay. Have these home. One of the team out to you. The steps that they've really drive home to you. Let's just revisit them. System one uses with the spaces on it. Spaces bracket, the fit single socket. And we've got a guide supporting, if you will. Okay. Very important. So not failing. Okay, we're pushing all that pipe. We're witness marking it with a dark permanent pen. We're pulling it out 10 mil. Okay. We're ensuring that all chamfer, any rubber ring leaks. So we're putting into that socket debris, bring all the a same degree, angle. It's already come pre-chamfered. So to the pipe, the size it will need to be in our range. Important step is that you use the is not PVC. You cannot use the PVC lubricant. It does need to be the dBlue range. And the reason for this, I get asked this a lot. The reason that we make sure that you use the dBlue lube is that it dries differently to that of a PVC lubricant. Okay, so the water-based lube, okay, very important for the system. It's water-based. It also dries just that little bit thicker than your conventional lubricant for that of a PVC. Okay, it dries a bit thicker so that the pipe, if it does heat up, or with the thermal contraction expansion, pop out of the socket. and solvent in its own right. Okay, so those are our top that the system doesn't fail. Most other things we can get away with, but these ones here need to be followed. When we do any training with you on site or come out to site, these are really, truly just going. It's what by yourself. I'm going to just bring them up. One moment. Cool. So there were 7 questions asked, and I'm going to read out the questions before answering. So, where can I find the latest specification installation manual, and what kind of support do I get from Marley? Okay, so all of our latest marketing, collateral, installation, testing, results, everything can be found on our website. We have a full comprehensive database for all of our installation guides. If you haven't seen it, I on there from brochures through to installation. Okay, it's a great reference point. And the support that you can expect from us, I'll be very honest, any job, whether it's down, whether it's PVC, so whether it's for over a phone call, email, or if you'd like to see us face to face, and for us to visit you on site. What I like to do for any dBlue job, especially for first time users or first time installers, I site just and make sure that the just so yeah, I mean, use us. I'm sure after this phone call, you'll be sent all of our contact details. Does it affect its warranty? No difference. It goes on. No difference for installation. With a commercial space, you're likely to get of pipe fittings, so less fixed. Isn't always the case. No, applications or instructions either. Then, situation recommended about this. Anything that's is designed for space to be or loaded system. Okay, away from if you charged system, maybe a meter up, tap in and go blue. That is okay. Relations that bottom P. See, but inside the what is the price difference? I try to explain this. It's quite a hard one to explain. We don't set market. We retail price. Blue pipe, the dBlue fittings, brackets, lubricant, about the PVC solvent, and with the lagging, the two systems. However, where the pricing or where the benefit to your lab is timing for lagging. As we saw in that video, the piping systems go up in the same time frame. It's just that lagging that then takes up time having to go over and relag again. Okay, so the price difference isn't high. dBlue is a lot cheaper. Okay, move on to the next question. How effective is the noise reduction compared to the manually lagged pipe? Great question. We did cover that off in the presentation. There was that little slide as well in that presentation. Again, it's very comparable, very similar. It meets the standards. And we are about to do, I'm very excited about it, we are about to do our own testing in New Zealand. It'll be a full comprehensive one, which I'm very excited about. And once we have those results, we'll ensure that CMS have a copy of it to distribute to you all as well. The next question is a really good one, and it really sparked something within me that we needed to do this. Are there any cases here, but is included testing? I think it's a really cool tool to have for situations like this. So thank you to whoever asked that question. I'm going to make sure that we do include that in our testing. How long can I keep my pipe outside? With this one, look, polypropylene or dBlue system doesn't come with UV stabilizer in it. It's not designed to be installed outside or stored outside. You can get away with it being outside for a couple of days. However, my recommendation will always be to store it in a container, to store it under a canvas cover, so it's out of direct sunlight, or something that you're working on. Containers of security purposes. The thing is with the harsh sun in New Zealand and it not having any UV stabilizer in it, colour can fade quickly and drastically if it's left outside for too long. The system or the council inspectors turn away any. So if you were to leave it out there, and be rejected by council at the time of inspection and sign off. Cool. Well, that is the end of all of the questions. If you do have any more at the end of this thing, Lily, I'm more than happy to answer any further. If you have anything you'd like to, I want to thank you a lot. It's been a cool exercise being able to present to you all. It's a product that I'm very passionate about. I've been at Marley for over 11 years, and this is product. For your time, thank you for listening. Yeah, and as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Emma. I will be doing the bit of interpretation for all the presentation you've just done. And I also want to tell our audience that we have a translated brochure from Marley that I can distribute to our group chats. So feel free to fire some questions and I will be able to pass it back to Emma. And I'll start my translation. Just whenever you're ready, you can pop off. Thank you so much for your time today. 好，今天我们的这个直播有一点特殊啊，是因为我们的客户的网络的问题实在是没有办法解决，所以我也很快速的跟大家来总结一下今天我们本期直播的这个要点。今天我们来讲的主要是 dBlue 这个降噪系统，它是一个 downpipe， 也就是说它是一个下水系统。 为什么要选择 dBlue 呢？这个降噪的系统其实在我们中高密度的开发里面已经成为了越来越多住户的需求。从降噪的这个角度，以及这个居住非常紧密的不同的房子之间，如果你时常听到对方冲水的这个声音其实可能居住在里面也会觉得非常的不舒服，或者容易被打扰到。这样一个整体安静的居住空间，其实在墙壁后面安装的是什么样的材料，对我们来讲也是非常非常重要的。好，那我们来看下一页。从这个 dBlue 作为一个整个的系统来讲，它一共有这样5大优势。第一个呢，也是最直观，是我们最能够体会到的，住在房子里的朋友们就是 noise reduction， 也就是它的降噪功能。它这个是通过澳新认证的，而且呢在水被冲下去的时候，可以非常明显的感受到这个整个冲水的过程几乎不会被听到。然后第二个呢，咱们顺着屏幕的点往下看，第二个就是 no lagging required。lagging 呢，就是我们在水管外面会包的一层保护套，这个保护套它其实起到的就是一个降噪隔音的功效。那么如果我们的 dBlue 它作为一个整个完备的系统等一下我也会给大家看到一个细节图，没有外面这个保护套的存在，也就导致了这个它整个系统的安装时间变得非常的短，也就是说我们的水工在我们的 onsite 去安装的时候，整个过程非常的省时省力。然后第三个就是 temperature resistant， 它的耐温性非常的跨度大，从持续的90度的高温到零下10度的低温，这个水管都是可以承受的。好，那么第4个我们的优势就是在于它是100%可被回收的。如果说这个产品，比如说你有边角废料呀，或者说你这个房子将来要被拆掉了，那么里面所有的用到 dBlue 这个系统的产品都是可以被回收的。这个也和我们新西兰政府要求的2050年带来零排放这样的一个整体的措施是非常吻合的。然后以及最后一个呢，就是 high chemical resistant， 它可以有比较强的耐化学性这样的一个特性在。很多时候呢，这个工业上或者是学校的下水管什么的都可以适用于这个系统的存在。好，下一个这个也是给大家看到，我们有 Watermark 以及 Brands Appraisal 的认证，并且都是澳新2个标准来的。这个是一个我个人认为了解很多关于这个系统的功能，它是怎么样来降噪隔音的。第一个呢，就是首先这个系统的产品本身，这个管道的本身，它其实是有一个能够降低噪音这样的一个高科技在的。等一下我会再跟大家细节的讲一下。比如说管道本身，它的3层这样的一个结构，让它具有非常强大的降噪隔音的功能。其次呢，大家也知道管道和管道之间它是需要被连接起来，所以管道跟管道之间它有一个这样的 rubber， 也就是中文叫做橡胶环，能够在管道跟管道之间拼接的地方有一个结构性噪声的降低。然后第3个呢，就是这个水管它肯定是要连接在墙壁上的，那么它连接墙壁的那个托架，这个托架它也是非常有讲究，也同样是有一层橡胶环在内，并且它和墙壁的连接方式也能够保证就是水在里面来回的就是 bounce跳来跳去的，然后没有噪音，以及水管跟水管之间的水的互相的流动没有那么多的噪音。然后第3个就是它不会通过水管传导到墙壁上面。从3个角度来保证我们的整个系统它是具有非常强大的降噪隔音的效果。好，我们来看一下细节。首先可以看到我们的这个水管它一共是有3层来看，最中间的这一层这个 inner layer 它是一个灰色的，也就是我们平时常讲的聚丙烯这样的一个材料，它有非常高的耐温性，也就是说水从里面流动的时候，如果说它是90度，那么它不会对这个塑料本身产生任何的伤害。其次呢，它就是有非常高的耐化学性。为什么 dBlue 在很多商业的项目中它能够被广泛的应用，不管是医院养老院还是说这种工业性质的工厂，都是因为很多时候这些机构它会有一些废水，其中产生一些化学的制品的存在，能够在这个 inner layer 在管道的内部可以光滑的流动，并且不会有任何的腐蚀，这个也是对这个产品使用寿命有非常大的一个怎么讲伤害的作用吧。但是我们的管道可以做到不用去担心。然后中间的这个 layer 呢，它其实是由一种吸音的矿物质来进行填充的，它就具备了非常强大的这个降噪的担当，并且呢这个管道非常的硬，也是来源于这 中间的这一层大家可以看到啊，白色的这一层能够支撑起整个管道，它很有硬度。然后最外面这一层，这个也是一个蓝色的，也是可能它名字的由来，叫做 dBlue。这个蓝色的这一层呢，它也是由聚丙烯这个材料来的，它有比较强大的抗压性，也就是说外部如果有一定的压力给到它的话呢，它是可以承受得住的，并且它也有对低温的这个耐受性，因为很多时候大家也知道，奥克兰的新西兰的南岛甚至北岛的有一些地方，它也会降到冬季-10度，甚至就是比较常见的这种温度嘛。那么 dBlue 它作为建筑中的这个下水管，它一定也要具备这种就是抗低温的能力。所以三个 layer 加到一起，使我们整个 dBlue 的系统产品本身具有降噪隔音，并且耐高温，然后并且可以耐腐蚀这样的功能存在。好，然后刚刚看到我们说这个 dBlue 的产品它如何和墙壁之间进行连接呢？就是我们有这样的一个隔音托架，在这个托架的中间的这一层蓝色，它其实是一个 rubber， 也就是橡胶的一种材质，所以能够保证水管和墙壁之间，它们其实是把震动的存在降到了最小。这个它其实也是告诉大家，我们的这个在没有外面的吸音层的情况下，我们可以从多少度到从这个声音的这个角度它的隔音的效果是什么样子的。再下一个可以看到，我们这个产品本身是一共有4个不同的尺寸，从50 ml 到160 ml 都可以，适用不同的建筑它的下水的这个需求。然后管道的长度从150 ml 到3米的长度都会有，3米就可能非常适用于像不同的工业的、商业的这样的一个需求。以及说我们有一个非常要注意的，刚刚艾玛也是反复强调 dBlue 跟 PVC 它们之间可以通过一个专门的零件去转换，但是它们两个产品因为产品的原料不同，所以它们不能简单的只通过粘合剂就粘到一起，这个是绝对不可以的。然后下一个呢，我们来看到这个 dBlue管道的侧面我们可以看到它上面有非常多的数字，这些数字各个都代表不同的意义，但是对我们屋主或者说是开发商的朋友们来讲，最直观的就是它里面首先有 watermark，说明这个产品是经过认证的，其次呢有它的生产日期，那么这个就很容易追溯到，如果说万一将来这个产品或者说整个系统出现了任何问题，你可以通过这个管道侧面的生产批次去追溯到是哪个批次有了这些问题，那么我们 Marley 这边也会给您做出相应的解决方案。下一个就是 dBlue 这个系统它有什么样的配件，像不同的这个弯曲的角度然后以及说就是管道跟管道之间汇合的这样的零部件，还有包括它的隔音托架都是非常的齐全的。这个同样也是一样，包括它的 reducer、elbows、branches、connection fittings 等等等等，因为这些它们都是提前被制作好的，所以它的这个吸音矿物隔音的物质，它在从大到小不同的零件配件里面都是非常稳定跟持续的。而且还有一个非常厉害的，就是它的 fitting 是一个非常简单就可以安装的，它是一个 push fit， 就推进去大概2步就可以把它安装完成。下面的这2个细节呢，它其实也是关于了我们在横着跟竖着，就是 vertical 跟 horizontal 2种不同的情况下应该怎么样进行安装。因为实在这个我没有办法代劳艾玛去讲，刚刚他在英文的这个 presentation 里面解释的也非常明白，但可以给大家的是我们有一份中文的安装手册，之后我也会在直播结束之后放到群聊里面去，有需求的朋友的话可以直接到群聊里面去拿。然后下一个就是在安装的时候的一些细节，首先您需要在安装就2个接口，要把一个细的那个管道推到长的那个粗的那个管道里面，就是完全推进去，就 insert the pipe fully。然后进去了之后，我们要用一根笔在已经进去的那个接口处来标一个 insert depth， 就是一个 witness line。之后呢，我们再往外抽大概10个 ml， 也就是1厘米左右，然后来允许它热胀冷缩，可能有一些形变。而很多时候console 来检查也是会看你这个 dBlue 的安装的过程中有没有这个 witness mark， 就是你有没有用铅笔画一道杠，然后往外拔出10 ml。 这个也是 Council 会就是去检查的，所以如果有在听的水工朋友们的话呢，一定要把这个记在心里面。然后下一个 drainage， 当它作为下水的整个系统的时候，同样呢也是刚刚已经强调过的，在 industrial chemical 的产品上，工业上的一些化工原料，它可以承受这个一定程度的腐蚀，以及专门的实验室或者说是 commercial kitchen 的，就是像有一些比较大型的厨房，它可能会有一些废物，就是打碎了的食物会倒在下面。这个管道的内部它非常的光滑，所以不用担心腐蚀以及就是有任何垃圾残留的这种情况。这个 lagging 的话呢，也是我们刚刚提到过的这个隔音的能力，它们两个之间有做一个非常直观的对比。那么其实最明显的对屋主以及对水工朋友们来讲，就是我们没有 lagging， 因为正常的情况下，水管它的安装是分2步，第一步就是安装水管，然后 Council 过来检查没有问题之后呢，水工再回来包一层外面的这个保护膜，也就是隔音层。那么这个其实它是需要 cost 2倍到3倍的物理，就是人过来安装的这样的一个人工费用。那么 dBlue 它最大的好处就是第一，它的安装非常的简单，其次呢，它不需要人工过来反复2次，它一次性就可以直接安装完毕。而且呢，很多时候当 Council 看到你的这个下水的系统是 dBlue 的话呢，它其实对你整个 set 的一些就是监管也会就对你更加放心一些，因为选用的是一个就是通过了非常多认证的系统。下面就是一些 projects 的怎么讲，就是正在安装和安装完毕的一些图片，大家可以看到这个 dBlue 的各个角度都可以被安装下去像弯的呀，然后直的呀都可以，这个不同的角度从0度到360度这样不同的 components 都是可以找得到的。然后像很多现在新西兰的政府公屋，它的 townhouse 的 development 也会指定要使用 dBlue 这样的一个产品，也是为了未来居住在这些house 里面的人，他们可以想到相对安静的生活环境。以及最后一个还是我们刚刚提到的，像 townhouse 啊、retirement village 啊、hospital 啊等等的，以及还有很重要的像学校的一些实验室，全部都会选择用这样的一个产品。然后 recap 一下今天我们直播的这些比较重点的内容，就是从安装的方面，这个也是需要我们水工朋友们在做安装的时候需要了解的。稍后在直播结束后，我会把我们translate 好、翻译好的中文的使用说明书以及对这个产品系统整体的介绍发到我们的群聊内。那么也非常感谢大家今天的时间。好，那我们本期的节目就到这里结束了。有朋友说还是听我讲的舒服一些，因为今天我们嘉宾还是他的网速的问题可能导致有一些延迟和一些卡顿我们也为就是没有听太清楚的朋友们道个歉，之后我们会尽量避免这种情况。现在可以点击屏幕上的关注主播来获得我们未来建筑会的一些直播信息。如果您还在直播间内的话，我们要向您预告一下，我们下周4的公开课直播是和 Master Builder 一起来联手举办的关于 House of the Year 的各项评选的标准，以及以为我们得奖的华人建筑公司 Mass Living 会来到我们的直播间跟我们进行他们获奖的一些心路历程的分享，所以也希望我们可以在下周4的直播中看到大家的身影。好，今天就是我们直播的全部内容，请您到我们的公开课详情页去扫码加入到群聊中，然后获得我们今天直播的所有的文件。好，感谢您的关注，我们下周4不见不散，谢谢您，拜拜。